A new generation of GeForce has arrived. The new GeForce RTX 20 series has dropped with 3 new cards starting the new lineup. At the top is the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti at $1,000, featuring 4,352 CUDA cores, a boost clock of 1,545 MHz, 11GB of GDDR6 memory, clocked at 14 gigabits per second on a 352-bit bus at a TDP of 250 watts. The RTX 2080 starts at $699 and features 2,944 CUDA cores, a boost clock of 1,710 MHz, 8GB of GDDR6 clocked at 14 gigabits per second on a 256-bit bus and a TDP of 215 watts, with the final model being the RTX 2070 featuring 2,304 CUDA cores with a boost clock of 1,620 MHz, 8GB of GDDR6 clocked also at 14 gigabits per second on a 256-bit bus at a TDP of around 175 watts. Now, these cards are all set to launch on the 20th of September 2018, with the Founders Editions cards coming out first with a $100 increased price tag. So you can pre-order those right now via NVIDIA's website, but I would probably wait a little bit longer for other companies like Asus, MSI, EVGA to drop their new custom models if you're interested in those, because they tend to be a lot better in terms of cooling. Now, that's basically the spec sheet for the new 20 series cards. They're built on 12 nanometers from TSMC using NVIDIA's brand new Turing architecture that was revealed last week in the form of Quadro cards. If you want, you can check out my last video and you'll get a better idea of what they're like. It appears that this time though, NVIDIA has cut down the Quadro cards instead of mirroring them for their gaming lineup. But luckily it's not by a lot. It's around about 5% less CUDA cores than the Quadro cards, so you're not getting that much of a nerf, but it is a little bit of a nerf. And for those of you who don't know, the new Turing architecture specializes in ray tracing, and basically that's like a new lighting system in games, and it allows for more realistic and lifelike scenes. And we're going to have 21 new games coming out with NVIDIA's new RTX ray tracing features available, and some of these are also older games. So we got titles like Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, PUBG, Metro Exodus, Final Fantasy 15, and Hitman 2, to name a few. Another new thing is that the Founders Edition cards will feature coolers that are going to compete with the custom models from other companies. So the new Founders Edition cards have a dual fan cooling setup as opposed to the single blower style fan that we're used to seeing and that we've seen in the past. I personally think it looks okay. It's not really my cup of tea, but I could see how some people might actually like this new simple design over the older style reference coolers. This also does mean that there's probably going to be some issues with smaller cases like MATX cases. The cooling performance is not going to be as good as the older reference coolers because it's more of like a traditional kind of fan. Now, here's where things go a bit haywire for me though, is that NVIDIA didn't really show the cards in action, and there wasn't any sort of comparison to Pascal that was attributable to what you would see in games right now. Any comparisons that they did show were in relation to ray tracing, and it was mostly just a graph. I'll put it up on the screen right now. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang did say that the RTX 2070 is faster than Pascal's Titan XP, and that the 2080 Ti is faster than the Titan V in gaming, but whether that's only in ray tracing situations was a bit ambiguous. He didn't really say if it's just attributed to normal rasterized situations or if that's only in ray tracing situations. So from this announcement, I can't really gather a lot since NVIDIA never really gave a lot of detail other than announcing some specifications. But from this, we can gather that there are new graphics cards that are going to drop next month. They're going to indeed be on 12 nanometers, as I suspected, and they will be featuring a CUDA core count lower than Volta and in some instances Pascal. Whether or not regular games will see better performance out of this architecture is really yet to be seen, as we're going to have to wait for benchmarks, and I can only really assume that those benchmarks will drop on September 20th, which is the launch day of the cards, because they never really gave an NDA date for when the reviews could drop. I can only hope that off this, NVIDIA is keeping their word and delivering on the RTX 2070 being faster than the Titan XP, and that possibly the 2080 Ti is actually faster than the Titan V, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. The lack of detail makes me really wonder whether there is some trickery going on here in terms of the wording. I did hear them say 6 times faster than Pascal, but that was of course only in ray tracing situations. So overall, I say wait for the benchmarks and then buy the cards, because that way you can get a better idea of what the product is like. In particular, focus on benchmarks that do not involve any sort of ray tracing. So something like older games, like a GTA 5 benchmark for instance, as this will show the true performance of the card in games that don't integrate NVIDIA's RTX features. You know, if a game does have NVIDIA's RTX features, of course I expect Turing to be faster than Pascal, because it's using the ray tracing that Turing really excels at and Pascal doesn't. But of course, ray tracing isn't going to be in every game in the future, so you need to get more of a complete picture of how much faster the 20 series is over the 10 series, and whether that's able to happen in older games and reflect that kind of performance. So that's all for really today. I think it's a bit of a short video, but I can't really say much more until we get more information. If you guys have anything to say about this, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll respond. If you liked the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all the new graphics card information and for reviews of the upcoming RTX 20 series graphics cards. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Got some new ones, but of course I did not buy it. 10 days, 6 shows, 1 thought, great talk, Asian honey asked me, do I like it? Soaking up all these rappers just like a mom. Out in China with a lady and she's finer than your bitch. Well, it's my lifestyle, I really fuck with it. Yeah, 3 more shoulder shows, 3 more zeros, gotta know. 3 more goofy hoes, 3 more diamonds that'll glow. Yeah, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, that's a 12, I think.